You on your podcast talking about maybe niggas just don't know how to negotiate. Not only you, but all of the fucking Charlotte Avengers out there. I hate you niggas. You like the B Mike All-Stars. A bunch of fucking stupid idiots that anytime they get to talking about business to people that know business, you know what it sounds like? A bunch of niggas that don't know fucking business. Shut the fuck up. Andrew Schultz is running around saying that we asked for $250 million from Spotify.
Was that real? I saw that headline of the clip. I didn't click it.
Rory.
He didn't really say that, right?
He said that.
The fuck is he talking about?
What I'm saying to you, Rory, right?
And even if that was the case, so what?
The only part that's nasty about this is that the Charlotte Avengers inherit some shit and then just start talking to their platforms while not knowing a damn thing. And that's odd to me because if the goal here is for all the black people to win, again, and we have different views of doing that, then there should be no ego involved. This should be a very selfless type of thing. But this is not the first time I've heard a black person perpetuate all of the stigmas and stereotypes that get attached to black creators when they're asking for their fucking proper value and their proper demand.
All right, 1:47 a.m. take 3. I was watching more things that pertain to the subject of the last video that we made, the DJ Vlad, and it came to my realization after I saw a Dame Dash video that we need to stop calling black people crazy that won't bend to the system. They want to make another way, want to make their own way. And I used to be guilty of this shit too. To a lesser extent, Dame Dash. To a lot of extent with Kanye West. But that's because Kanye West goes and tries to articulate this stuff in crazy sounding ways a lot of the times. On rants with a bunch of non sequiturs that has nothing to do with what the message is he's trying to get across. Right? But right now he seems to be focused in the message he's trying to get across. These music deals and these contracts that are built to be unfairly biased against the artist. But that's a topic we're going to get into probably when we do the next full podcast episode, so I'm not going to talk about that here. What I'm talking about is Dame Dash and Joe Budden. As if, or if you haven't heard, in the podcast space of things, Joe Budden is decided not to re-sign with Spotify. Decided to take his podcast away from the Spotify brand for amongst many. One of the reasons amongst many that I heard him say is that they were trying to basically retroactively Spotify up his back catalog of episodes that he had did or that the crew had did before they were even signed to the brand, whatever Spotify is, the streaming service. I'm drinking water, so I'm thirsty. Shit. But he was apparently not cool with that. Not cool with them trying to go back and add advertisements to episodes that were made years before they came into the fold. And he, amongst other things, decided to step away from them. And a whole smear campaign curiously came to be against him that's spearheaded by Charlemagne the God and Andrew Schultz or Adam Schultz or whoever the white dude is from the Brilliant Idiots. I don't watch that. Don't listen to the Breakfast Club. Find nothing of value in any of the platforms above Breakfast Club, Brilliant Idiots. Not for me. All right. But it was a curious timing because around the same time that he started denouncing Spotify and denouncing the type of deal that you can get by joining a company or signing with a company such as Spotify, two things happen. One is Charlemagne the God announced the Black Effect Podcast Network. That's a joint venture, 50-50 deal with him and iHeartMedia, who also owns his the radio station he works for, who also owns his radio show, The Breakfast Club. They own Power 106. So that's an iHeartMedia radio station. And the other thing that happened is Tahiri or whatever, Joe Budden's ex-girlfriend or the one he was on Love and Hip Hop with or whatever, came on one of their platforms and started talking about how Joe Budden is having sex with animals or jerking off dogs or some crazy shit, and that he used to beat her and he was abusive and all of that. And this all happened at the time he was denouncing Spotify, a major media conglomerate, the same way that iHeartMedia is. Spotify just gave Joe Rogan a major deal. And excuse me, this smear campaign is what I'm calling it, from the things that I saw about it, because it's some crazy looking and sounding shit, just materialized around the same time this thing was happening. And the thing I notice about black people is that there is no better candidate to destroy something that somebody black is doing than somebody else that's black. No better candidate. You know why? Because it's easy. If it's somebody from another race, it's easy for us to unite against that and back the black man. But if they put another black man up against the black man, then all of a sudden the black people are choosing sides. Shit is split now. That's what happens. And that's what has happened. They got a black man is the face of the denouncing of Joe Budden's business sense when it comes to him estimating and demanding a certain value for his product. But it's a bunch of motherfuckers that's not black behind that's up under little soldiers that's not black. Andrew Schultz, whoever that Indian dude is. When they were talking about Joe Budden asked for 250 million, so what? If he did, he did. But you have no way to know. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, this is not because of what Joe Budden asked for. It's because Joe Budden didn't fold or bend to the system. It's because he didn't just take the bag, as niggas would say now. Because that's what you're supposed to do. as Chris Rock said, the motherfucker who is getting the check is rich, but the motherfucker who's signing it is wealthy. That's what Chris Rock said in so many words. They can hand out thousands upon thousands of these checks. Joe Budden is trying to get to the point where he can hand out those type of checks instead of just receiving them. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Dame Dash. When Dame Dash was on the Breakfast Club years ago, and he was talking about the way he runs his business, and he comes off with as having a brash personality. That's just what it is. That personality is what brought you Jay-Z, because Dame Dash burst into places and would not take no for an answer. And would not take less than what he knew Jay-Z was worth. Never forget that shit. It's easy to look at him and call him crazy now, because we see where Jay-Z is at, a billionaire, and we see where Dame Dash is at. I don't know his financial standing right now. I don't know how much money he has. I ain't trying to count his money. But we see that he was not included in this Roc Nation deal. Like, not at all. He was not. Look at Roc Nation. People look at Roc Nation and they just see Jay-Z. Do you know why Nation is in the title of that fucking record label? Because Live Nation cut a check for $400 million and gave it to him to start that shit. They stamped their brand on The Rock. They ain't letting you forget who owns that. They not letting you forget it. Jay-Z's the face of it. And I'm sure he got he has a percentage of it. Of course, he's a billionaire, but the people who cut that $400 million check are billionaires many times over. Like Jay-Z and Michael Jordan literally had to be, in Michael Jordan's case, the very best ever at what he's done, or what his profession was. In Jay-Z's case, one of the very best ever for 20 something years consistent to get to that B, to get out of those M's to those B's. That's what he had to do. Selling 100 million records. Michael Jordan selling God knows how many shoes. It wouldn't be no Nike if it wasn't for the Jordan brand. You understand? Would not. Nike was a fucking upstart company when Jordan signed on with them. He originally wanted to sign on to Adidas. It was an upstart. He literally is the reason why that fucking shoe company is popular. He should own half of that shit, but he does not. You're talking about people like Dame Dash and Joe Budden who want to own 100% of what they do. 100%. And it does not behoove corporations for us to own anything. It behooves them for them to own us and for them to pay us what they say that we're worth. Because these fucking people don't become billionaires and stay billionaires by giving you what you deserve. They become billionaires and stay billionaires by giving you what they say you deserve. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. It's the easy stance to take the money, shut the fuck up, and live good. That's the easy stance to take, because when you come from the position that a lot of us come from, not saying no to the type of money that you can get for your talent being recognized and you becoming popular because of it, saying no to the type of money that you can get is just not an option for most people. It's not. But what they do is they pay you for your soul, and you realize that down the line. You know why Joe Budden didn't take that Spotify deal? Because he had already been tied up in bad recording contracts. So he knew what was coming. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened with him. That's what happened. They paid they paid Dame Dash them for their souls. That's what Universal and Def Jam paid them for. And when it came time for Rockefeller to be sold to Def Jam, there was no power on the Rockefeller side of that. You know why? Because the golden boy of Rockefeller is the only person who made out. At least that's what's publicly been put out there, and that's Jay-Z. The Rockefeller and Rockaware deals. Publicly it's been put out that Jay-Z got all the money from that, or majority of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing to them, to these corporations and companies, to give you even $100 million. It's nothing for them to do that, because $100 million is not even a drop in the bucket to most of them. Look at LeBron. Look at LeBron, right? LeBron James making what, $30-40 million a year, when literally he raises the value of any team he joins. Look at D Wade. Took the Miami Heat from being an irrelevant franchise to all of a sudden I hear about the Miami Heat as being a destination and a culture, Heat culture, this, and championship DNA. One single man brought that shit to that franchise. They had no championships before he got there. And yet Dwayne Wade was never, ever the highest paid player on that team for as long as he played for it, until he got down to the end of his career. During the time that he was winning the championship basically by himself, averaging damn near 40 points a game in the finals, Shaq was the highest paid player. He was not. During the time after Shaq was gone, when the team was in the rebuilding phase, but yet he was still dragging the team that had no business in the playoffs to 5th and 4th and 3rd seeds in the playoffs. Sean Marion, I believe, was the highest paid player on the team. Sean Marion. After Shaq got traded to the Phoenix Suns. You know what I'm saying? And for them to be able to sign Bosh and LeBron James, Dwayne Wade was like the 3rd highest paid player out of them, even though the difference was negligible at that point. But still, all of this stuff that they talk about when it comes to the Miami Heat, their organization, the championship DNA, the this and the that, all came when they drafted him in 2003. That fucking franchise was around since 1988. It's been around as long as I've been around. And they were nothing until he got there. Nothing. They were losers. They were people who got beat by Michael Jordan every time. People who most memorable fucking thing in history was the fight they had with the New York Knicks, where Alonzo Mourning was being was dragging Jeff Van Gundy around. I mean, when Jeff Van Gundy was hanging onto his leg. That's what that was until he got drafted. He don't own a piece of that fucking franchise. They give motherfuckers like him ambassador roles. What he did was go outside the country, and the shoe company who sells his shoes, he owns a piece of that. He stepped outside the system. People was calling him crazy when he left the Jordan brand behind after signing that deal to sign with some Chinese company nobody ever heard of. But he got $2 billion worth of stock in it now, so nobody's calling him crazy now. And people are saying, these people, back around to the point I was making, saying Joe Budden is crazy, he doesn't know how to conduct business and all type of funky shit. That's because when they presented you the money, you just took it. Which I'm not mad at you for doing, Charlemagne, when they presented it to you. But it's a 50-50 deal with iHeart, right? It's a 50-50 deal with iHeart. I guarantee you this is speculation. Back your ass out of your 50% of that deal and see where all the shit that you make up under that deal goes. Is it going to go with you or is it going to stay with them? That's 20 minutes right on the head. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. I got to work. I'm out.
They always want to humble us, man. That's why you see dudes like Vlad TV and Adam 22. They want to say that I'm disrespectful or humble me because I question why they're even speaking on my culture. I'm difficult. I'm on a blacklist for even speaking. A big bum ass blackball list. I'm not never one. That's the type of shit I don't like, man. This narrative they try to create. Oh, a motherfucker's disruptive and disrespectful if he is aware of his self-worth and demands respect for his culture. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that's what it's been with me the whole time. Oh, he's a black man that speaks up for himself? He's crazy. There's a black man that don't let white people rob him or talk to him any old kind of way? I'm nuts. Come on, man, y'all nuts. Balls. Letting weak motherfuckers and nerds tell you what to do. Legally. Ain't shit I'm doing illegal. Not a fucking thing. It ain't illegal to know who you are. I'm not disruptive because I have confidence, because I won't let you disrespect me or my business. Come on, man. That's how they humble us. You speak, we're going to label you. Man, we got to start speaking. We got to start doing things that are intelligent. That's how we win. Stop looking the other way just for a buck. You know, everybody turns the blind eye because they say they got to eat. That food is not good. That's not good food. That's the food that kills you quick. How we know the tricks and we still do it?